Hey everybody, it's Tim at Broken Dice bringing you a battle recap. Not quite a battle report, not a channel update, kind of somewhere in between. I posted some pictures on some of the groups I was in about this upcoming fight between my Romans and a buddy of mine playing my Successor Kingdoms. So let's kind of do like a quick little recap. Right now we're at the end of turn 3, so like in first turn a lot of movement and that kind of thing. But interesting to note, in the first turn, each of my commanders were able to blunder an order roll, which was fantastic. I just enjoyed the hell out of that when I blunder on the first movement phase. And then in turn 2, my blunders continue. At least I only blundered once, but it was a big one. So, and then in turn 3, I had another major blunder. So, really kind of a pain in the butt. I have to talk about the previous battle, which has an effect on this first. Let me back this up just a bit. I'll pan this over. You can see the river, right? That kind of shows you what we'll talk about these guys in the middle here in a moment. But the Romans originally were back up on that high ground where that cavalry unit is. As you can see that. Sorry about moving the camera. That cavalry unit way up there, which is part of my reserve division. We're up there. Now, the reason that the Romans came off to go toe-to-toe with these big blocks of phalangites is that they were out of water. That's the scenario. And in the first game, we played small, like a little division of small units and stuff for possession of the river. And since the Romans lost, now the Romans have no access to water, and now they have to come down off the hill to fight. If the Romans would have won that contest, then the phalangites would have had to come up across broken terrain and fight their way up the hill against the Roman legionaries. But which there was the potential for having an advantage on either side. The Romans lost their advantage and now have to come down off the hill, which is, well, never really a good plan. Okay, and so those units that took part in that first battle act as kind of an extra reserve division. And that's what you see up here on the hill behind the Roman. That's from that cavalry unit there all the way down. And then there back here all the way down are a couple units of skirmishers. So that is my, oops, sorry, not moving the camera, reserve division. And so he has one as well, which has come in basically opposite this combat down here on the Greek right. So to recap what's gone on here, there were some cavalry charges, some skirmishers, some shooting, in the first, nothing major except that well, nothing major for him, but for me, I lost a unit of medium cavalry to his guard cavalry, which are these guys here that are now being supported by this unit of medium cavalry. And they were some Celt-Iberian medium cavalry, kind of more, I used them as Celt-Iberians, so I gave them kind of more of the Gaelic, like the wild fighter and that kind of stuff. So, but they lost the combat and fled right off the table, so they weren't all that a bag of chips. One good note for me that happened was I did get his general died that was with his guard unit. That's the price you pay for getting those extra 3 attacks in there. That makes that guard unit pretty tough. But he had an unfortunate roll. But he gets us, another sub commander on, but at one less. So I was hoping that it would play havoc with him getting some orders off, but it didn't. So now we have this ongoing large combat between an infantry unit of mine supported by cavalry against his guard cavalry supported by another unit of medium cavalry and a unit of Thessalian cavalry. Yeah, not light cavalry, that is. Not ideal. Over here, part of this is his Thracitai, the more of the heavy infantry, and then the Thurophorei, which are in front, which are like medium infantry. They're the same like Spanish Scutari. They're kind of armed that way. Um, Kind of like large shield, spears, javelins, that sort of thing. They are fighting against an unsupported unit of shaken legionnaires, which is quite unfortunate because I don't think any of my because what I have in my reserve division vector are a bunch of Illyrian infantry, light, along with some Gaelic cavalry. But other than that, I don't think I have much that can stand against them and that extra freed up unit of phalangites. Um, let's see. That seems to bring us to the end of what's going on here on the Greek right. Um, I can't remember. Did I show you his reserve division is down here? It just came on. Sorry about moving the camera again. His division just came on, and it consists of some light infantry, light cavalry, um, some and lots of peltas and some archers. So uh, again, with a game like this, hopefully the center big heavy infantry units can hold each other at bay, and then one of us will break one of our flanks, and those will turn in and lay waste basically to whatever's in the center. And speaking of the center, let's pause the camera, move to the Greek center. Sorry about that. I was moving something to the Greek center, and we'll talk about what's going on there. Okay, here we are at the center, and lots going on here. As I mentioned before, my Romans had to come down off the hill. We've engaged the phalangites and a little fight here. Now, I got pretty fortunate here. I have 2 units of legionnaires against this unit of phalangites, and I was able to shake them and push them back, but he's moved up a unit of hoplites to support them. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure how this is one of those that's going to be a real meat grinder. Who's ever going to win one of these? You know, like over here, he's doing stellar work with these phalangites against 2 units of legionnaires here, one in support, one in combat. And but over here, up, let me move this because this is really, I think this is where the battle is going to turn, is right with these guys. These 3 units of phalangites here. They're fighting, just 2 of them are fighting this 1 unit of legionnaires, which already has 5 points of damage. 1 more, they'll be shaken, and that's a tremendous disadvantage in combat. And that 1 unit of phalangites is completely on its own. I mean, it's not really engaged with anybody, and it's got terrain on either flank of it, so it's in a very, very good position. The only thing I have to worry about and wonder whether he's going to move over to the right and support his Thracitai and Thurophorei with them, or is he going to continue and move up that hill and engage the Scutari that he's already fought off? I don't know what's going to happen here. That unit right there is the wild card. It sits in one of those positions on a gaming table where it can go right, it could go left, and it is powerful enough to do some real significant damage. All right. Really, it's just been pushed back and forth. Like I said, over here in the center, I've really got a deep push here. If I get lucky because the combat unit is shaken, can I break them? Can I break the units and then free up those 2 units of legionnaires to do some work elsewhere? Yet to be seen, because it's hard to beat those a big block of phalangites to the front that's supported. It's going to be a tough fight. That's what's going on here. So let's move on to the Greek left. Okay, now we're over on the Greek left. Again, my Romans have come down off the hill sporadically. Um, didn't get a complete battle line formed up before we made contact, so it's going to be next turn whether I can actually get guys into support and into combat to help out the guys that are already there. So obviously, after a blunder or two on turns 1 and 2, I had a tremendous blunder, which we will talk about when I move the camera to the Roman side, and we'll kind of look at it from the Romans' point of view. But over here on the Greek side, we have some more Thurophorii, some unarmored Greek heavy hoplites. So they're basically like Thracathai, Thurophorii-esque. They just don't have javelins and stuff. So, but they're heavy infantry. Here we have Peltis and another Thracathai unit right behind them. So that's a combat unit. That's a heavy combat unit. Yeah, facing off against them with the Romans is some javelins, some light cavalry behind, and some Catrate allied infantry. Yeah. So this flank I think is more of an even up fight if I can get all my legionnaires in at once. But if I have to do this piecemeal, I'm in danger of losing one at a time until I become outnumbered, and it just either the division will break or they'll just be swamped by numbers. Okay, so let's save my one terrific blunder for when I'm on the Roman side because it happened to them. So let me pause this, and we will head to the Roman right. Well, I was talking about a blunder, and this is it. This is my Army General's unit. Large unit of basically Gaelic cavalry in Roman service. Yeah, he blundered at the top of turn 3. I wanted him to charge in and charge up that direction into those lighter infantry, but he blundered and moved a move back. So now the whole my right is kind of disjointed. It's not like in any like super danger, but it's disjointed. And so if things go awry, then units can be taken off the table one at a time until the division breaks, and that's going to be awful. That will be awful if my Roman general's division breaks first, because it had a unit of allied Gaelic infantry, but they charged over there, ran into those. Let me move this up now that we've looked at the blunder. Okay, from the Roman point of view, we can see the Thurophorii and the Thracathai in this combat right here. Well, this unit right here was charged in turn 2 by my Gaelic troops, a tribe of a Gaelic horde, let's say. And they didn't last very long. They took 6 points of damage, rolled on the break table, and broke and fled. So much for those guys. I had a tremendous number of attacks, and nothing went through. I just poor dice rolling. And then over here from the Roman side, you can see these 2 Roman units of legionnaires that need to get into the combat, but because of a blunder, individual orders, a couple units moved. This one didn't move until turn 3. And so we're kind of all out of sorts here as far as a true battle line, especially with my Army General and his big unit of cavalry blundering and moving backwards. So that's not good. So let's move the camera down and we'll look at the battlefield in the center from the Roman point of view. All right, here we are looking at from the Roman point of view. Now you can see how far I've pushed across the small little stream and pushed those units back. Again, rear is open, flanks are open. it's going to come down to what these guys do. Now, these two units, they were more over here, and they had moved up and were engaged with this unit right here. And so they've been fighting it out with them. The unit with the blue shields came up to support the other phalangite unit. And so that's going to really put my Legionnaires in some danger. You can see the center commander here. We have a unit of slingers close by with him, which are basically, at this point in time, need to get in and move over and support that unit of Legionnaires to try to add more dice and just try to do something. But this is interesting. This is to me, this is what makes the wargaming cool when shit like this happens. This is so much fun for me. Is when, you know, I've done something, but yet have I done so much that now they're in danger if something else happens. All right, that's going to be a very important aspect of turn 4, I think. Of which, who gets something to be released first to come to the aid of someone else, and starts that cascading effect of broken units. Okay, so basically we've talked about it. Just wanted to give you a view from this side of the table. Let's move on down to the Roman left. And well, I'll do you a favor and I'll just pause. So here we are on the Roman left. In the back here, you can see my reserve division has come onto the table. We got a unit of light cavalry. And then we have some Illyrian infantry. And we have some skirmishers off, javelin guys off over here. And let me move the camera. Sorry, hope it don't make you hate this, but this camera moves right here. And you can see a small unit of Gaelic cavalry. Those are the old War Games factory models I had a long time ago. I've just got them on one single base, and I don't know. They're useful. They're a good filler. And let's turn back over here so we can see the major combat happening over here between my cavalry and infantry against his predominantly cavalry units. Matter of fact, they're all cavalry units. Actually, the Guard, the Thessalians, and a unit of medium Successor cavalry. So yeah, it's been fun. It's kind of turning out kind of the way I kind of envisioned it in my head. And so, but it's a lot of fun. And those phalangites to the front are no joke. With a solid battle line, whew, man, you got to hit them, and you got to hit them with an awful lot of stuff. You know, and shooting at them to the front's not a real easy prospect either, because they're heavy infantry with shields, and that takes one away. So we will see what happens next turn. But that brings us to the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed this kind of thing. It's kind of more of a battle recap, not a turn-by-turn sort of a battle report. Just kind of a battle recap. I wanted to do something nice and easy, and you just kind of can look at it and kind of follow along. So like I said, I wanted to go kind of film it from both sides, give you a viewpoint that you can see from the Roman and the Greek successors, and not get into the minutia of each dice roll and that kind of stuff. But if you're familiar with Hail Caesar, you can see that a lot of units are shaken and disordered and are carrying a lot of damage points up to this point. We're getting close to the turning point. It'll just be determined who gets it and where does it happen at. All right, that's it. Brings us to the end of this video. Hope all your games are just as fun as this one. I hope all your projects are going well, and I will see you next week, and hopefully with another recap, and we'll see how this one goes. Everybody stay safe, stay well. I'll see you next time. All right, here we are on the Roman left, and let's just